Hello, the internet, and welcome back to the live stream. It is Saturday, the 11th of April, 2020. Happy Easter, Easter Saturday. Very strange Easter here in Australia. No kids around on the beach, no families out searching for chocolate eggs, no one running around town having good times, no one drunk from the night before. There's no one around, although we are in Culborough Beach, so that shouldn't be unusual. Folks, today I will be live for 98 minutes, and we're going to talk a little about working from home. Who does it? How do they do it? And is it successful? Now, we know the situation that's going on in the world right now. The pandemic is forcing everybody to stay indoors. A lot of different workplaces have come about because of this. A lot of different scenarios have come up. A lot of different live streams have come up. Now, we've already discussed how live streaming has been affected by COVID-19. Today, I want to dig specifically into working from home, not necessarily live content, just the idea of working from home. We will get into that, though. As you do know, on these streams, it's a long-form discussion. We're going to open up the call-in lines. You can have a voice chat with me. We'll do that a little while later. I want to cruise into this. I want to take our time. I want to relax into things and open up the discussion by reading the chit chat. So I'm going to go ahead right now and read the chit chat, but I've got to catch up to where you guys are. So I'm going to go back to the top and read all the comments. I began with hello the internet, and then Rochelle turned up, but then Rochelle hasn't been back. Rochelle came in and then she disappeared. Rochelle, are you out there? Rochelski. Then Mindy turned up. Mindy, hello. And she says, I wish I could work from home. And she worked last night but had no ultrasound orders. Very boring, but it all pays the same. And Olivia Mason turned up too. Olivia, wow. I got a lot of my breakfast in my mouth there. Holy crap, folks. Sorry about that. I just got a whole bunch of muesli in my mouth. Olivia is Chin Marie from D-Live. Chin Marie over on the D-Live. Did I mention I've got a D-Live channel, folks? I just put it in the little chat there. Little link to my D-Live channel. Ooh, celebratory times coming up on D-Live. I celebrate my 1-year anniversary on D-Live coming up on Tuesday. Now, I did say here on the YouTube on a daily vlog that it's coming up on Sunday. This hand is going to hit the forehead right now. It's going to hit it pretty hard. Ready? I got that wrong. It wasn't Sunday. It's Tuesday. My sister's birthday is the 15th of April. I began my D-Live channel on the 14th of April. My calendar, some reason, said the 13th of April. Again, I got it wrong. So if you want to come and check out my celebratory stream on Tuesday on the D-Live, that little linky poo is how you'll get there, and we're going to have a good look back at the channel history. We've got a few early streams to look at. I've got a bunch of clips to run, right? Not clips, not the highlights, but full blown. Because I've stored every single one of my streams since I became affiliated. I've stored them, the full source material. Not my recording from OBS, the actual stream that went out. I downloaded the source material after it went live. I didn't do that for earlier streams, but Duncan did. Duncan captured with some screen capturing, pointing cameras at screens and all that kind of stuff. Quality's a bit dubious, but we're gonna check it out anyway. I got distracted there. I love D-Live. Even though there's some big changes, I still love it. I still love it over there, and I do daily. I'll be there later on today. You might come across. You might not. YouTube and D-Live, never the twain shall mix. Sometimes the twain does mix. Sometimes the twain doth mix with the D-Live and thou YouTube. Get out of here. So Mindy can't work from home because of her industry, and that's Chin Marie. Nice to see you. BC Razor. Speaking of someone who's come across to D-Live, BC Razor, Brandon, yeah, and Sass. Brandon and his partner Sass. So he says, this applies to me, working from home 4 days a week pre-COVID and now 5 days a week now. Maybe, Brandon, you might want to call up and have a chit-chat. I don't know. It's up to you. When we get into the depth, when we get right down into the dark, dirty part of this stream and you want to call in, we'll talk about that. Perd Beer up in the chit chat. Perd Beer, our friendly Australian living in Berlinski. How you going, Perd Beer? Mindy says, thank goodness I have Gives a Minute on D Live to watch, because Mindy's been working night shift a little while, and that coincides with my day streams on D Live. By the way, folks, I'm feeling way better. I was ill yesterday. I don't know if I've been getting the C. I don't know if I've got the C or not, but I've been very ill. You know, I was up, and also, welcome back to the hotel streams, right? I'm back in the hotel. I was up in Sydney at the Benny Flat for 3 weeks, and this is the first stream back here at the Culburra Beach Hotel. If you're not sure why I refer to this as a hotel, you might want to catch up on some D-Live action, because there's a lot of trolls over there. Did I mention trolls? Don't really like them, but there's a lot of them on D-Live, and one of the latest gags from troll activity is to somehow ascertain that I'm living in a hotel room. And I mean, the hotel's very generous to give me a lovely painting of Charles Wayne and a big bottle of Jack there in all of my videos. But anyway, they think that because this bed's always made, it's a hotel. I make my bed to make the stream look better. I normally wouldn't make that shit. If I didn't live stream in my bedroom, that bed would never be made. But I do it for you. I do it because I want to reach out and make things look better. It's good to be back here in the hotel, though. Olivia, I've wanted to watch, but my work hours have been unreal. I'm not sure what Chin Marie does for a gig, but I appreciate you trying to watch whenever you can, Olivia. BC Razor, good to see you, mate. Yeah, cheers, buddy. BC Razor, Perd Beer, I said that. Phone falling on my face as I doze off in bed. Now that's a classic. I've seen Poopsie do that so many times. She'll be laying back, like on her back like this, and watching. She watches like babies in the bath, like these dolls that. It's kind of a bit dubious, actually. It's like adults bathing or bathing dolls, and it's rude. It's nude. It's naked. And they put them in there and they talk little funny. Oh, you got to go to. And they always talk in a real American accent. And Poopsie, when she watches it, says, "Maybe I'll take Anna and Elsa for a bath." I'm like, maybe you'll take them for a bath, girl. You're an Aussie. No, I'm going to take them for a bath, Uncle Benny. Okay, you want to talk like an American because you watch too much freaking YouTube. She'll be sitting there watching, and her little hands, she hasn't got the strength, right? She's not fully grown yet. And all of a sudden, and she's holding a freaking iPad, like a big, and not just a big one, but a big one with a big barrier around it to stop them from dropping and cracking, which she did with mine, which doesn't have a barrier on it. And all of a sudden she'll drop it and it'll smack her on the face. She's actually had a few bruises and some cuts from the iPad. If anyone from, like, what do you guys call it? COPPA? Child Protection Agency. If they came over and saw her, they'd be like, all right, bruises all over her face. Who's the neglectful parent? It's like, both of them, because she dropped the iPad on her face repeatedly. Pretty funny. I hate that, Olivia. So, Perd Beer, sup Gibbs, and Sass. We don't do cheeses on the Gives a Minute YouTube stream, but here comes one. Watch out. That was a cheers. I normally do that on D Live. I tell you what, man, I am feeling way better today. I don't normally get this effervescent on YouTube, but this morning I've woken up, I feel better. My body feels better. I felt sick the last few days, and I feel better now. Even though, if I touch tentatively in my upper stomach region, I still feel a little bit of tenderness. It feels like, how far are we into this stream? 10 minutes. Can I swear? No, you can't really swear. Well, you can swear, but I just won't swear. I'll just enter the gutter for a little bit, and I'll tell you how I feel. I feel like I've got to take a shit. Not just a regular shit, a big diuretic shit, right? Like it's going to be fucking Van Gogh painting all over the bathtub, all over the bowl, right? I feel like that's what's going to happen. The strange thing is, I've felt that way for 2 days, and so far no masterpiece has come. There's been no painting. No, the paints are dry. The canvas is still clear. I don't get it. I'm laying in bed, in this hotel bed, and I'll roll over and I'll hear like a pop and a click, and then my whole body will just cramp up, and I'll be like, oh, okay. Go and get the painting and the easel ready. It's coming. And I'll go in there and I'll be like, Candy Crush. Listening to VRs from Duncan, Candy Crush. No painting. So either I've got some constipation, or, which is not right, because I don't All right, I should specify here. I have pooped, but the feeling in my gut is not the feeling that you would normally have if you just did regular pooping. Do you get me? I feel like I feel like there's something almighty coming, but it hasn't happened. And so in between, I've made little rough charcoal sketches, but I haven't got the paints out. If you follow, if we're going to go down that analogy of painting, I've got the little charcoal sketches, done all those, they're all good. They're all outlined, they need to be filled in, and I just can't get the paint out to fill them in. Not that I want to paint, like I'm happy just to do charcoal sketches every day. I don't need to do a massive big painting. I'm just, hopefully, I'd rather not paint that big, right? Because sometimes you go over the edge of the canvas and you got to clean all that shit up. Anyway, that's how I've been feeling. And the reason I don't feel bad today, I don't know. I did take I took a nighttime, you get cold and flu capsules, and then you got the daytime ones that you take throughout the day that don't make you drowsy. Then you take the nighttime ones that have like pseudo something in them and it makes you sleepy. Well, I took 2 of those last night, and I tell you what, painting or not, I was asleep. If anyone wanted to do a painting last night, they would have been painting alone, because we wouldn't have used the right canvas. We would have used a different canvas last night because I was out, and I feel much better from it. And also, I did have 2 homebrews on the stream last night on D-Live, so maybe the homebrews have sort of fixed me. Back to the chit chat. BC Razor, sup gives, okay. And I said, yes, sit upright. I see Poopsie dropping a device on the, yeah. And Olivia has a pillow too. And Mindy misses Poopsie, me too. Perdbeer said she should be sent down here every Friday for the live stream. She probably should, right? Mindy, I have one of those stands for my iPad, but when you're laying in bed with your device, it's difficult to roll over with that stand on your stomach. Oh, you have one of those ones that sits on your stomach and it sits up. That's a pretty cool idea. I gotta be honest, folks. I don't sit in bed much anymore and use my laptop, the one that's running this stream right now. It used to be my secondary machine. I used to have an iMac sitting right here, and that would be the whole stream. But now, as you can see, just the laptop does the whole stream. So because it's all dongled up, I don't often take those dongles out and go and sit in bed with it anymore. I find more than likely I'll stay on the desk with the laptop. And I think I'm not going to even upgrade. I'm not going to upgrade my iMac, I don't think. I think I'm good with the laptop. I think my stream and everything that I need to do on a computer, I don't think I need a desktop anymore. I think the 2019 16-inch MacBook Pro is well powerful enough to achieve my goals, which is kind of refreshing because I was eyeing off a Mac Pro. I've got my AdSense money that I've never spent sitting in that account. Never withdrawn it, and I was thinking if I let this get bigger, I can afford a Mac Pro, like a 10 grand machine. I don't think I need it though, and I'm not going to spend the money if I don't need it. But I got other ideas for this very stream that I'm going to spend some money on. Maybe I'll spend the money on that. I got some ideas. I've worked out how to do something. Anyway, what we can do with our tech, yeah, maybe you can program a drone to send her down. Send down Poopsie with a drone. Mindy says we need servants to hold our devices so we don't break our noses. What the hell, Mindy? Who's got a servant? I mean, I got a concierge in this hotel, but that's about it. And Purby says, no, I mean one of those ones connected to the floor stand like a giant selfie stick. Then it will hover above you. We just need a drone to hover in our rooms with our iPads. Or, do what I do, get out of your freaking bed and sit at your table. If you have to lay in bed and you can't get out of bed, you're so lazy and you still want to watch content, get out of bed. I'm just kidding. You can lay in your bed. I'm just saying I don't do it anymore so much. And since my SMB server has stopped working on my Apple TV, I've actually got to get out of bed to run this freaking cable. I got an HDMI cable here that plugs in and I can run content from here to there, but I got to get out of bed to do that. Pretty silly. Benon, have you done a review of one of these stands? No, I haven't, Mindy. I haven't. I don't actually have one of them. I don't have one. And then Olivia went down the dubious angle here and said I could reflect Gibbs a minute on my ceiling, but that might seem not quite right. I remember young schoolboys doing that with scantily clad swimsuit models on their ceiling of their hotel room so they could hands-free it if you follow. And I said, Purbeer says, that takes laziness to a whole new dimension. And I said, that's what the boys in high school used to do. And Birdbeer says, I prefer to watch GIFs reflected into a disco ball. Wow, funky times, Birdbeer. And I said 1,000, Olivia said 1,000 gives with a love heart. And I said, that's 1,009. Shit, I got the math wrong. I'm going to hit, this is the slapping stream, right? Forward slap stream. Olivia said 1,000 gives, and I said that's 1,999 too many. No, that maths is wrong. It's 999 too many. If that's the gag you're trying to make, that only one is enough, well then you got that just did not hit. That did not land, that joke, did it? Shit. We love our gives, Olivia, Chinmarie, and Chinmarie. You've been such a huge supporter on DLive, Chinmarie. It is really nice to see you over here on YouTube, I gotta tell you. I mean, DLive is one thing, and I love it, but I had a lot of trouble bringing anyone from any platform to here, to YouTube. So I appreciate that you've done that transition across. Much appreciated. On the flip side of that, BC Razor and Sass came here, and I dragged their weary asses over to DLive, and they love it over there now. This is a two-way street. You know what I say? I keep saying it. I said, I'll see you in 10, folks. And that's when I go into makeup. And I don't know what I can do with this hideous head, hair, and makeup, right? This isn't getting any freaking better. I think I'm going to let my hair grow, folks. I think I'm going to just go ape, like gorilla style, and let it grow out. I shall get coffee back in a short bit, says Olivia. No worries. Mindy, I'm going to make some tea. Very nice. I shall roll a piece of magic. So Perdbeer is going to have a jazz cigarette, which I would not know anything about because that's illegal in this country. But enjoy whatever that might be, Perdbeer. Shiloh Rose up in the chit chat. Good morning, everyone, with 1, 2, 3, 4 love hearts. Shiloh Rose, I'm giving you a cheers DLive style. How do you do, Shiloh? Nice to have you here. Good to see you. Hi, Perd. Hope life is treating you better. Rochelle. And Rochelle's back up there in the chit chat too. Rochelleski! She's up well early because it's nighttime for Rochelle, but morning time for her partner Hendrik. So Hendrik's still Hendrik est schlafen, and not Mindy, and Rochelle is awake, which is interesting. It's the opposite on DLive, whereas Rochelle's usually up late and Hendrik is in his element, right? Usually guzzling the red wine. Lewis Terp up in the chit chat. Where did that go? By the way, folks, there's no delay here. I'm just taking my time getting through the chat. When we get to the bottom of the chat, we'll commence into the depth of the stream. But the point of a live stream is to engage the chat. This is the one time of the week on YouTube where you yahoos can speak directly to me. And I'm not going to let that ride easily. I'm going to address everybody. So Lewis Terp, I don't believe we've seen your handle before, Lewis Terp. Hello, mate. Hello, Lewis. How do you do? Nice to see you. Welcome to the stream. Good to have you. Where are you from? What's your name? What's your objective? What are your goals in life? How are you achieving them? And can we help? Is that a new intro spiel for YouTube? I can't remember what I just said. Okay, we won't stick with that, but you can take that one for yourself right now. Yeah, are you feeling better, Benon? Yeah, Charlotte Rose. Yeah, I'm feeling way better. How you doing? Easter is your Sunday. Rochelle, Easter... So we got Good Friday, Easter Saturday, Easter Sunday, and Easter Monday, as far as I was aware. Just Edie! Wow, Edie Murphy up in the chat. Hello, givers. It's been a while. I'm working from home and love it. Well, I mean, Edie, if you want to call in the voice chat, when we open that up, I'll give you the details of how to do that. If you want to call in, and if you're working from home and you're loving it, we'd love to hear from you about that. Olivia, hello, Mr. Giver. Looks great in blue. Thank you. I've been told that blue... I just grabbed my tits then. Well, okay then. I've been told blue is my color. And it's obvious my eyes are blue. So if you want to offset the eyes, you want to continue to wear blue. Typically, I wear black more than ever. Black is kind of like... Most band shirts are black. Nothing against blue, but I know that blue... You know, and I've also got this blue behind me. You know what that is? Do you guys remember what that is? That little blue thing? I don't think he ever watches my streams anymore, but I'll go and get it and give him some props, right? I want to show you what this is, just so that you guys can see what it is. It's pretty cool. One of the first fan mail things I ever got. I'm going to get it. It's over here. 1 second. Is that 1 second or 2? I feel like that was 2 seconds, right? So what this is a 3D print of my logo. Adam Billsborough, right? Adam Billsy. He's a DJ from the Queens. I was going to say from the Queensland Central Coast. He's up in Queensland. He's a DJ on commercial radio. He sent me a three-dimensional print of my logo. That's the first fan mail I've ever received. I don't think Billsy still watches here though, but if he ever does, I've kept this and I like it. I'm just chuffed that I ever got fan mail, right? And you did the first thing ever. Thank you, Billsy. Much appreciation. And that also sets off my freaking eyes, doesn't it? Screenshot? Nah, forget about it. Forget about it. Just idiot. Miss being here. Been working a lot. Okay, yeah. Where's Uncle Tim? Good question. Uncle Tim's usually here. No, he usually drops his son off at work at this hour. Charlotte Rose, I can't work from home because I clean and take care of other people's homes. So yeah, interesting, Charlotte. Your job would certainly be one that cannot be done from home, of course. Charlotte Rose, you're a sweetheart. There you go. Good for you, Charlotte. I hope you are well. Long time no see, Just Edie. Yeah. I know there is gives. I got one last. Rochelle. Swizzle up in the chit chat. Deleted my D live, so you'll be seeing me here more often. Oh wow, dude, what happened? What, you're not interested in D live any longer because of the Tron migration? I understand that. I understand that you might not be interested in that since they've, well, we don't want to talk too much about it here on YouTube because it's not the point of the stream, but I feel pretty disappointed that the Lino blockchain failed. I backed it. I supported it. I highlighted it. I promoted it. I sold it. And it failed. So of course I feel pretty let down. That's the blockchain. That's not the streaming service. The blockchain, the Lino blockchain is what I was promoting, right? The concept of earning rewards by streaming and by watching content. That thing failed. And that kills me. But I understand if you pulled the pin because of that, I completely get it. I'm not going to do that. I like touching my chest. All the girls are here. Nursing, Gives, nursing. Yeah, you guys are all up in the chit chat. It's awesome. Yeah, Edie Murphy. Yeah, you've been missing, I guess, for quite a while. I feel like I did lose a lot of crew along the way because of the CreatorCast crap, right? Because of that garbage that went down. I feel like I lost a lot of people, right? And I'll take that. I'll take that. I'm standing firm with what I believe in, and that two people can have a disagreement and they can still be friends. Unfortunately, that's not the way it went. People had a disagreement, and then the person that didn't agree with the other person took all the other friends with them and left and caused a huge uproar, which I think is childish and ridiculous. And I noticed that I did lose a lot of crew during that progression. Since then, it's been over a year now. Since then, I've just moved on doing what I do, trying to get better at what I do and progressing. All I've seen from that crew is constant digs at me and trying to bring me down to the point where they recreated the channel on DLive. Like, what? I mean, just a terrible move. A terrible move to. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. But I noticed that I lost crew at that point, which is understandable. People want to take sides and they don't want to whatever, but I still do what I did. I'm still the same guy I was before. I still have a disagreement with other people. That happens. People disagree with people. Doesn't mean they can't be friends. They can't associate. In fact, that was the point. I thought that was the point of CreatorCast, to engage each other and help each other get better. And you got one person, even now, one person saying, well, I don't want to be friends with you because I don't want you to tell me what I'm doing wrong. Well, dude, that's terrible. You should be open to people telling you, this is what you're doing wrong, man. And this is how you should change it to get better. That's the point of having friends, right? Otherwise, what do you got? You got lip service. Oh, dude, you're doing great, man. Keep it up. Keep up doing what you're doing. It's awesome. When in actual fact, they're sitting around going, you see what this guy's doing? It's terrible. That's what you want someone like that to say, dude, I got to tell you, man, 12 videos on Rosie, maybe not the greatest move. But if I'm being blunt about it, it still annoys me. And I thought higher of these people. I put them in a higher category than what they were. And the way it's gone now, just shit. Charlotte Rose, sounds like you got a bug of some sorts. Yeah, like maybe a tummy bug. A tummy bug, yeah. An impacted bowel. Interesting. Is that from eating the wrong food? I know you guys are talking about the the canvas. Maybe it's your body reacting to no more skin cancer cream. Shyla Rose with a very interesting point. Interesting. Very interesting. It could be I'm no longer putting on the skin cancer cream here because my skin cancer is pretty much gone. You see that there? I mean, I got to get it back to the right color, but it's pretty much gone, right? Now I've messed up this hideousness of this head. I have a solution, says Olivia. Get a bottle of straight tart cherry juice. Drink that; it will clear everything. If you don't want to paint and you drink that, you'll create a painting without even really wanting to. Okay, I getcha. Mindy's channel. Mom used to say it will work its way out in the end. There you go. When I'm not working at night, I'll start watching Gives a Minute on DLive and fall asleep, then wake up with my iPad in bed with me. Interesting, Mindy. Mindy says, hi, Lewis. Charlotte, are you still working? Edie says, too bad about CreatorCast. Sorry to hear that, Benon. Yeah, I mean, by the way, that's the bottom of the chat, so let's bring that up on screen so you guys can follow along. Yeah, it kills me. It kills me that happened. Like I've said the whole way through this, why can't two people have a disagreement? Isn't that the point of the world, to have different opinions? Isn't that that's why we have political parties, right? We have a governing party and we have one other party that doesn't believe what they're doing is right, and so they disagree with them. And the other party tries to continue to do what they want, and then the people say, well, we want this person to do that, so we'll vote for them, and then they become the power, and this one comes down lower. Isn't that the point? Like, if you just have everyone saying, oh, yeah, do that, you get a boring situation, a boring scenario. You don't get any growth. So for that to be the way that ended, and for it to have dragged out as long as it has, and then to have constantly lost friends through that process, terrible. Terrible way to handle it. Not just from the situation, but from those people in the outer side of it, the other side of it, laying on the outskirts, watching. Terrible way to deal with it. It should have been something that's like, oh, Benon, you still think that the Rosie the Shark videos were wrong? Oh man, you're sticking with that. Okay, cool. Well, we've moved on and we're going to do this. Well, okay, cool. I'm still going to disagree with it, but we'll continue to move on. No worries. Jay, you'll just keep doing the videos, man. Go ahead. What have you done now? 13 Rosie videos. Go. You know, it's obvious what you're going to do, so just do what you do. And we'll watch you from the sidelines, and I'll comment on it and I'll critique it. But if that means we can't be friends, I think there's a big problem there. And you know what the problem is? It's ego. It's the ego of the person. The person cannot succumb to their ego. Their ego controls them. That's the trouble. Now, I don't have an ego like that. I don't self-promote myself. I devalue myself, if anything. I don't promote myself like that, like I'm the Australian Casey Neistat. Like that's egomaniac, right? I'm the Australian Casey Neistat. I don't think I did anything wrong, but if you, the community, tell me I did something wrong, I'll apologize. What? Did you hear that? He said in his apology video to X-Way, I don't think I did anything wrong, but if the community tells me I did, I'll set up and apologize. You should realize when you did wrong, dude. If your ego is not clouding everything. Disagreements is the spice of life, yeah. Disagreements, arguments suck though. Yep, totally. Olivia, yes, you had my job. You asked my job. Nursing also impacted bowel. Yes, back up that your body is having trouble processing it. An enema could help it. I've done the enema once. Stick the tube up with the hot water. Go for gold. Very interesting. Olivia, I'm an ultrasound and vascular tech. We could work it out together, Olivia says to Mindy. So it's good that we're not talking about. I mean, I get off on a tangent. I know I do. I get off on a tangent when I talk about that because I lost friends out of it, and I don't want that. I didn't want that, but that's why it still hurts me. It still hurts me. So let's change the subject here. Let's take pause, right? Let's take pause. Let's catch up with a slightly random daily song. And then we'll come back and we'll get into the meat and bones of this conversation today. And we'll open up the call-in lines, that kind of thing. Otherwise, I feel like I'll get too deep into the CreatorCast thing. And there's been no change aside from trying to recreate Creator Cast on D-Live without me. What the hell? So let's just take pause here. A slightly random daily song. When we come back, we'll change angle altogether. Welcome back to the slightly random daily song. It's great to be back here, Culburra Beach, Oceanside. Unfortunately today there are no waves, as you can see. It's a full tide and a very small swell, so I'm not going for a surf, but slightly random daily song for the second time, the Mark of Cain. That's what the TMOC Adelaide band, the Mark of Cain. Now I did tell you there would be two instances of this band because this shirt is the second shirt in the series. Now, without going back over old news, the photograph on the back of this shirt, which you can't see very well, is Kim Scott, the bass player from the band. Now, we've already shown you the other tour shirt with John Scott. That's the first time I talked about the Mark of Cain, and I showed you how they relate to me because I took the photograph here. Without going over that ground again, I want to play you a track. Now, it's kind of complex, this track. So, last time we heard from the album Ill at Ease, and we heard the track The Contender. Now, that album was released in 1995. The first single from that album was called First Time. The B-side of that single was called Details. But I'm not going to play you that version. What I want to play you instead. Now, in 1996, 1 year after Ill at Ease was released, the record label the Mark of Cain were on, Records, R-A Records, they put out a free sampler of all different bands on their catalogue, including the Mark of Cain. They also included the track Details. Now, what I want to tell you about that sampler, it's kind of cool from a promotional point of view and a graphic art standpoint of view. That label, RA Records, if you take the R and the E off records and you move it across to RA, you get the word rare, and because you've removed the R and the E off records, you get the word chords. So you have two new words, rare chords. I think that's really, really smart. Whoever was behind that decision, Records, Rare Chords, on this promotional only CD, I think they've done brilliant work. I want to play that version. I don't know if that version of Records promotional sampler is a different physical recording. I don't think it is. I think it's the same B-side recording of the single from First Time. But I want to play you the version, because I used to own that sampler. I wonder who got that. Maybe Duncan, maybe you have that these days, I don't know, but I don't have it anymore. Either way, I'm gonna put you guys down, show you some beautiful scenes here of the ocean with no waves. Pop you down here. That's a pretty good angel, right? That's a pretty damn good angel. Look at this beauty. Well, folks, while you enjoy the beauty behind me, enjoy the Mark of Cain, the B-side to First Time from the album Ill at Ease, but lifted from the Raw Records sampler, Details!
The Mark of Cain with You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to show you the freaking tour shirt. Let me put you back down here. Show you the shirt with the photograph, right? Can you see this? Is that a good angel? That's Kim Scott, the bass player of the Mark of Cain, a photograph I took. That's how this ties into myself. That's 2 Mark of Cain songs here on the Gives a Minute D live stream. I highly recommend you check the band out. Now, I'm gonna go and sit and listen to the rest of this Rare Records promotional sampler, and while I do that, you guys can go back to the live stream.
Oh, crikey. Sorry, folks. I had something sticking in my foot. Throughout the entire beginning of this stream, something was bugging my shoe, bugging my foot in my shoe, my Ugg boot. And I thought I'd get it out there, and I couldn't quite get it. It was like a thistle or something? Theophilus Thistler? Either way, I think it's better now. Hopefully it is, but you don't need to see my hideous Ugg boots. But that was the Mark of Cain, or was it? No, it was not. That was the YouTube version. See, now on D-Live, we can roll that stuff with no dramas. Here on D-Live, here on YouTube, there's this big thing with copyright. If I ran that clip and that song, this entire stream, all the monetization would go to the Mark of Cain or to Sony BMG or whoever it is. It's kind of frustrating, isn't it? Because you don't get to hear the song. You get to see the artwork and you see the photo of the band I took, but you don't get to hear the song. It's like, yeah, is this the best way to be doing this? Wouldn't it be better if YouTube just said, okay, we've got a contract with all the major players and we pay them a figure every year to allow you, the creator, to use music in your creations? Wouldn't that be a better way to do it? That way, more people would get exposed to the music and then they'd get more record sales, and creators would have a free reign to put whatever they want in their creations. All YouTube have to do is make a deal and pay the record labels. I mean, I don't see why it should fall on... Why should it fall on the onus of the content creator to worry about that?
Steak?
Money's too tight for steak.
Who did that?
Steak?
Steak money too tight for steak.
Shyla Rose, thank you for the $15 super chat. Holy crap. Shyla Rose, thank you so much. Money's too tight for steak. I mean, that would have... And by the way, that right there, a super chat from Shyla Rose, that basically covers... Ironically, I could have played the Mark of Cain song because the monetization, the amount that I would have earned would have approximately been around about $15 in total over the span of, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, right? 2 or 3 years of having this video or this live stream rerun on YouTube, I probably would have earned a total of about $15. So Shyla Rose just covered it. So basically you just paid the royalty, and I should now play the actual song. Thank you, Shyla. Thank you very much. Someone once asked me a question, which is a very, very good question. If you use copyrighted material in a clip and it's a song, in a live stream, does the royalties include super chats? Thankfully, the answer there is no. Could you imagine if not only my AdSense revenue from YouTube went to the copyright holder, but also the super chats from fans went to... That would be like, are you kidding me? Thankfully, that's not what YouTube do, but it could... it wouldn't be... I wouldn't be surprised if they changed it to that. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't be surprised. Perd Beer, related. I got a notification on YouTube today for a Lolly Socks live stream. I was on it within a minute and he was already nuked for terms of services breach. Really, Perd Beer? What was he doing on the stream? What was he doing? And I saw that comment from I feel like it was Uncle Tim. Someone said, oh, it was Perd Beer. I thought that's an Uncle Tim comment though. I think that this might actually be a recording of Bernard's Enema. And Charlotte Rose said, thankfully it's only the thankfully it's not the no, Perd Beer said, thank God it's only audio. You kids. And was up in the chit chat. Morning, you blue-eyed blue shirt man. Oh, blue shirt guy. Thank you. Is that a compliment, was? Don't do what Blue Shirt Guy did. Tim says, Mindy, plus I've been helping Ethan with some of his school assignments involving setting up props and special effects for photography. There you go. So, folks, let's move into the discussion here. Let's have a chat about working from home. So, in this global pandemic, what's going on here is we're finding more and more people are forced inside to do what they would normally do in a group setting. It raises the ultimate question, in my mind anyway, maybe not in your mind, but in my mind, it raises the question of, if we can do what we're doing from home, why do we need to go to the offices? I see a bunch of things here, right? And maybe Australia is slightly different to the rest of the planet here, but I know from living in Vancouver, downtown Vancouver, the downtown area, what they call downtown, and you got midtown, uptown, downtown, of course. And the downtown Vancouver is bigger, is its own area, right? Downtown Manhattan, midtown Manhattan, uptown Manhattan's different, but downtown Vancouver, if you could compare that to Sydney, Australia, there is no real downtown Sydney. It's just called the CBD. Now, CBD stands for Central Business District, and that's why in Sydney you don't have a lot of people living in that area, whereas the downtown Vancouver area, I lived in downtown. My partner, who I had a really interesting dream about last night, holy shit, that just reminded me, that was really strange. Wow, that was a really bizarre dream I had about her last night. It just came back to me now. Far out. That's weird when that happens. I'll tell you the dream later on if you want. It's nothing dubious. It's just a really strange one. Anyway, she lived on the corner of Robson and Howe, which if you plot that onto a map, that's downtown Vancouver. That's high-rise buildings. That's workplaces. That's accommodation. But in Sydney, and it has changed. It has changed in the last, say, I guess in the last 10 years, it's changed where people are now living in the CBD area. But the point I was trying to highlight here is, when we have a CBD, a central business district, what's it for? And again, this is probably Australia only, but it's for everybody to commute to that space to do business, right? The central business district. It's a central area where everyone can get to. So what do they have? They have major metropolitan transport hubs that all go into that area. So you got people coming from metropolitan outlying suburbs all coming into a space to do business in the central business area, the business district. That's how it's been for so many years. You've got Sydney, you got Adelaide, you got Brisbane, you got Melbourne, you got Perth, you got Darwin to a lesser degree, you got Canberra, less and less. What I'm saying is this global pandemic has shown us that less and less people actually need to go into this area, into this central business district to do what they do. So therefore, do we even need a central business district? Do we need a space where everybody can cram themselves in? Because that's what it is. It's a cramming, and the bigger... That's why Sydney has never been finished. If you go to Sydney on any given day, there will be construction. There'll be a new high-rise. There'll be a tearing down of one. There'll be a bigger space opening up. There'll be a combination of two buildings that's now being pulled down and made into one building. There'll be a bigger bus depot or a bigger changing to the rail station. It's just constantly changing because you've got you've got a finite amount of space with an infinite amount of people. The more people that we cram into this country, and this goes for any country, the more people that you cram into the outer-lying burbs, the metropolitan suburbs, right? They've all got to go in to this central business district, which is only a physically one size space, and you can't keep cramming people in there. We've seen that here in Sydney, where they're removing some of the most beautiful buildings in an area called the Rocks, which is like a rural historical part of the city, right? So it's on the harbour, and it's where the first convicts that landed built their accommodation. Of course, they're not going to go 40 kilometres to the south and pick whatever, Wollongong or whatever. They're going to build their accommodation as close to where they landed. So that's why this area, the Rocks, is beautiful. It's got stone buildings, all of it's original. They're tearing that shit down to put up more business areas. It's like, really? That area? Like, you're going to cram in more business into that area when that's all accommodation, that's housing. Ironically, it's freaking welfare housing, which is kind of strange. Prime real estate, and most of it welfare housing. It's kind of unique. Get on the rock and roll and live in the rocks, literally. Got city views, Harbour Bridge, Opera House, and you'd get given housing there. It's kind of, that's another story. But what I really want to highlight here, and I want to ask you guys as well, do we need a central business district? Do we need a downtown area specific for business if we've all proven to the rest of the planet that because of this global pandemic, coronavirus, we can, most of us, not all of us, a lot of us, I'll rephrase, some of us can work from home, and that some of us, whatever that percentage is, changes the dynamics of how a city operates. Because if you go into Sydney, and sorry, I know I've been neglecting the chat. I'll get there in a second. When I get on these diatribes, I like to just keep focused, but I will come back and engage the chat. You look at how you go to Sydney on any given weekday. Typically a Monday's the worst, but you go between the hours of, say, and this has changed as well. You go in between the hours of, say, 5:30 a.m. to maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, and you get a train from an outlying suburb such as Janali, where I'm from, Janali, Oyster Bay. That's 12 kilometers from the CBD, 12 kilometers by train from the Central Business District. You can't even get a fucking seat on a train getting on at that station. By the time that train comes into Janali, it's already chockers from the stations past it, right? So therefore you're standing with everybody else, and this is the same that it's been for years. Like, this is not just a new thing. This has been this way forever. If you get on at Janali, perish the thought if you get on at Como as well. Como's an even smaller station. People that live in Como used to just walk to Janali because it's like, well, I might get a chance to stand there by myself, but if I get on at Como, you're basically sardine the whole way in. And what I'm saying is, this small percentage of people that doesn't have to go to the city because they can now work from home, they've proven it, that will take the burden off the transit, right? But what it will do, it'll jack prices up. So you could already say that the prices for transit are way expensive in Sydney. Less people using it, all they're going to do is put the prices up. They're going to reduce services and they're going to put the prices up. So I'm trying to figure out, because more people are working from home because of COVID-19, is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? Now, I found a couple of news reports here. If you did a search for working from home just in regular Google, ironically, you bring up some ads straight off the bat. Mobilize your workforce. Access the cloud from home. It's all this funky verbiage, isn't it? Access the cloud. It's like, wow, we're working in the cloud. This shit's been around for years, folks. Don't be alarmed by it. This has been around for years. Safe Work Australia, employees working from. These are all paid advertising. By the way, I'll make that a little larger so you can see it. Make the font a little bit larger. These are, when there's little links here like this, these are all paid slots. Sorry. The ones with ad are paid slots. These ones are not. But there's an ad right there. Working from home, the playbook. Someone's trying to cash in by writing a PDF. Struggling to work from home. Co-working might be the answer. Business Australia helping you manage. So, and then a couple of stories here, a couple of fluff stories, right? So this person here, or this story here, coronavirus has people working from home, which could have long-term benefits for women. Now, this is obviously, virtue signaling to women's rights. But that's kind of not what the story's about. The story is basically, and I won't go through it too detailed, but basically this woman was told that she can't work from home. She was told she can't work from home. So the employer gave her an impossible choice. She could either keep her job or care for her disabled daughter. So she set up her own daycare center, which she ran right from home. So that's her going out and doing the right thing. Looks like Adelaide too. No, that's not Brighton. Oh, that could be Largs Pier. Could be Largs, South Australia. This story here, there's always going to be a scary story, right? Working from home during the coronavirus pandemic creates new cyber security threats. And obviously you can see what this story's about. Make sure you've got two-factor authentication and make sure you lock your passwords down. And let me be clear, if you're not doing that anyway, if you're not doing that shit anyway, you probably shouldn't be on the internet. So that kind of story is just a puff piece to get clicks, right? That's your rosy story right there. I'm going to go back and read the chat, and then I'd like to open up the call-in lines if you want to call in and give your opinion here, because I think we can have a good discussion about this. But let me just read the chat first. Tim says, Mindy, I've been helping. Yeah, okay, it was. And good morning, g'day was. I didn't know it was Nuke before I could see him. So what did Lolly Socks do there on that stream to get nuked? Happy Peeps was everyone saying hi. What do you got there, Charlotte? You got some working attire and a green shirt. Was says the NBN at my place in a month or so now should help with my work from home. Fiber to the node. Yeah, it depends what you're doing. We've got it here now. We've got the NBN is switched on and it's active here. I'm not using it. I'm using my 4G, and I'm still going to stick with my 4G. I will not touch it, but it is here, and I've done speed tests on it, and the test is about 80 down and about 20 up, which is not the 140 that we're paying for. But anyway. Mindy says, very true. Why do we need all these office buildings? Maybe the virus will make a good change. Yeah, and Mindy, of course, they'd put the business out of work. That's the thing, like, so many traditional jobs, like so much tradition is on the stake here, right? On the line. So go back even like 40, 50 years, and things like, remember there used to be a company called Mr. Mint? Master Mint? You'd see them in like, they're cobbler, right? They were basically a cobbler. They were shoe repairs. So I remember, I think it was called Master Mint or Mr. Master or Master Mister. They used to be inside malls. Like you get a shopping mall and you'd walk in the entrance and there'd be like a little centerpiece, like a little small building. And there'd be a dude in there with his shoe grinding the heel down and like tapping the basin. I remember that as a kid. It's like that trade, fixing a shoe. What do you do now if your shoe needs fixing? Buy a new one, right? They're so cheap. Why would you spend $20 fixing a shoe? That trade's gone, and that's what I'm saying. I need to get that again because my foots are cold. Might have been fun to throw that over my back, but my feet are cold. Those trades, they're gone. And that's what I'm thinking may come as a result from COVID-19. We'll see jobs that might have been fluff jobs that we don't actually need, and they're going to disappear. And people are going to step up and start doing other jobs that are needed. Do you think that's a good thing? I think that's a great thing. I think this virus may have pushed mankind along. It's certainly pushed the internet along. Light rail in Sydney is pretty good value. The light rail in Sydney, yeah, the one that goes from central straight through to the western suburbs, yeah, I've seen that. I've used it a couple of times. Tim says, it'd be hard to relocate a lot of businesses out of our main cities simply as we have constructed our roads and public transport to funnel people into the cities like spokes on a wheel. But that's what I'm saying, Tim. We don't need to do that. We don't need to relocate anything. We don't need to have any relocation. We've already proven that. We're all working from home. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we are working from home. We've already proven that we do not need to go into the cities. Not every job. There will definitely be some jobs. And when you look at someone like Mindy up in the chat, she's an ultrasound technician. She has to go into the hospital that she works for. Now, in a beautiful sense, that's not always in a major metropolitan city. You've got hospitals in rural towns. Got one right here in Nowra, right? Shoalhaven Hospital. Not in a metropolitan city. What I'm saying is there are certain jobs that we do not need. Like, the idea of the city being the business area, that's a very, very strange concept. Why do we need somewhere to go to conduct business? We needed it when, like the 30s, when we didn't have fax machines and telephones, when people had to come in and do business in the one area, but we don't need that at all anymore. We don't need a space Because we have the permission to swear? The fucking internet. Why do we need a physical space when we've got... How many people are using Zoom now to conduct meetings? The Zoom meeting used to be a boardroom. But now, your boardroom is your bedroom. And you don't have to be anywhere. We're proving that. Your comment's redundant, Tim. How do you like that? Your comment is redundant. Now get to the back of the class, Tim. Get out of here. Big corporations have cybersecurity issues too. It's not just computers at home. Yep. Oh, you got fiber to the curb, was. Did you really, you sneaky little bugger? Well done, dude. Was blue shirt like yours? Blue shirt guy, yeah, he did have a shirt like this, I think. Just grabbing my tits again. BC Razor, I'm a programmer. Remote working has always been gaining popularity, but companies can be afraid of change. COVID has forced the change, and it's been a positive experience. That right there, that should have been the title of this stream. I faffed around with the title to try to make it more clickable, but that should be the title of this stream. In effect, the idea that the big players have been scared to do this, right? They've been like, well, no, we can't have 2/3 of our workforce not coming into the office, because then the 1/3 that does have to come in, they'll feel like they're being the ones that are being held back, or, you know, they don't have to spend money on, then we got to pay for their transit because they're spending more money to get to the office, and this guy's got to iron his shirt, he's got to have a cleaner come in. And, you know, at the point where we're at now, where the governments of every city has said, hey, fuck you all, stay home. Do your work from home. Don't go to the office. They're telling us that. And the bosses have been like, okay, do your work from home. And we're seeing it working, right? Are there any businesses that cannot? We know there are some that cannot, but are there businesses that have tried to work from home that's failed? That's an interesting question. Who's working from home and failing? That is a very interesting question. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow, the next week on the stream. I don't know. Mr. Minute. Is that what they were called? Mr. Minute. Was it really Mr. Minute? I feel like it was Master something. They cut keys and fixed shoes. Yeah. Was it Mr. Minute? That might be why I remember it. Gives a minute. Wow, that's weird. Perdbeer says lots of those businesses diversified, started doing locksmith and other stuff. Yeah. Was from us says, yeah, I used to work with a guy who would recoat Teflon pans, but it's out of business as it's cheaper to buy a new pan. Absolutely. Yeah, totes. Chad Armstrong up in the chit chat. Chadsky, afternoon, morning, evening. G'day, Chad. How do you do, man? Oh, hang on. That's a D-Live cheers. Can I D-Live it up? Go on. How you going, Chad? Good to see you, buddy. So let me do this, folks. Let me open up the call-in lines. The call-in chat line, if you want to have a voice call, using a microphone, whatever, it's open there for you if you want to. You don't have to. I put the link in the chit chat right now. If you want to come and join us, that's how you do it. I'm going to go across and add myself in there right now. When you come in, just make certain. Okay, interesting. When you call in, make sure you mute the stream. So we don't want to hear double up, but I'm in there right now. And if you want it, you don't have to, of course, but that link there sends you to the Discord. When you go into the Discord, you'll enter a voice channel called the GAM YT call-in line, the Gives a Minute YouTube call-in line. I'm in there now. Let me know if you do come in. Otherwise, I'll just continue to talk to you about this and engage the chat, because that's the point of the live stream, engaging the chat. The problem for working at home for a lot of firms is data protection and network security. I mean, that's what we're hearing, but that's a smokescreen, I think, because there are security issues. There are security issues with every firm, whether the employees are at the business or whether they're at home. So those security protocols should be in place before the working from home thing starts, right? Chad, ironically, I couldn't call in because not only am I working from home, but so is my girlfriend sitting 3 feet away. So you're currently working right now? What are you doing on YouTube? Get off YouTube. Happy Canadian. Hello, my friends. I didn't even see you swinging, Happy Canadian. You were up there before, weren't you? Or is this your first appearance, Happy Canadian? Good to see you, man. Yeah, I mean, so we talked about this already last week or the week before on the stream. working from home doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to start live streaming, right? Everybody's live streaming now. It's kind of rad. It's kind of validating, if anything. It's like a pat on the back. Like, okay, you knew that live. And I said this years ago, right? Live is where it's at. Live is where it's at. You have to start live streaming. Not every business needs a live stream, though. You could argue the guy fixing the shoe doesn't need a live stream. But would you watch that? Would you watch content of a man fixing shoes? Maybe you would. Maybe you would. No, you're just getting in here now, Happy Canadian. Oh, okay. I don't know. A lot of my live streams blend into each other, if I'm being honest. A lot of them sort of mold over the top of each other, and I'm doing the D-Live cheeses in here and my Eunice wows and all that kind of stuff because I've been doing daily live. I've been live every day since April last year. This is a year I've done live for every day. Now, arguably, actually, I want to work it out. I reckon I've missed about 20 days in total of the year. So I understand how important the live thing is, and I understand that most important about live streaming, it's not about the gear and about how you do it, it's about engagement. You have to do something different on a live stream than what you would do on a pre-recorded video. On a pre-recorded video, like a vlog or whatever, you would just have straight up content, right? But on a live stream, you got to be willing to be flexible. Now you come out with a concept and an idea, but you got to be willing to swap your idea and go with what the chat wants, because the chat dictates the stream. It's not up to you. You can lay it out, like you can have it set up, but the chat dictates where that goes. The last D-Live stream was amazing. Thank you, Happy Canadian. It was a good one. Yeah, because we had a real bad one, the one before. The last one was a good one. It felt good to have that one back. Yeah. Given how bad the one before it was. And that's because of the audience, like the audience in that instance made the thing go to shit, right? The audience changed what happened on that last stream and it went downhill rapidly. The audience on that next one was beautiful, and that's why it changed. That's what I'm saying. It's all about the givers, the audience. By the way, when I cut to that reverse angle, the screen with the chat is way too bright, isn't it? I'm gonna go with dark mode on that screen next time, I think. Can you change to dark mode just for the chat, or have you got to change dark mode on the YouTube? Can you select dark mode on the YouTube browser, or is that just app related? I hear someone in the Discordation. Who's over in the Discord?
Hey,
Edie! How you going, Edie? How you doing?
Well, I'm doing very well, thanks.
Now, can you hear me fine?
I hear you great.
Can the stream hear Edie? This is Edie Murphy up in the chit chat, folks. Can everybody hear Edie? We'll just pause until we get a confirmation about that, Edie. But I think it's good. I watched your audio waveform go up when you were talking. Do you know if Tidy Labs is back up? Yes, Happy Canadian. I checked it out this morning. Tidy Labs is back, so we're good to go with that tomorrow on the D-Live stream. So it sounds like, yeah, Chad says loud and clear. Edie sounds great. Edie, welcome to the show and welcome back to the live stream here on YouTube. Thanks very much.
It's good to be here, Benon. Thanks.
I appreciate it. It's been so long since we've seen you.
It has been a long time.
Now, without trying to dig up the old story and go through that, would it be fair that was kind of what went down when you left because of that Creator Cast stuff?
No, not at all. I left because of life. A lot of things are going on here for me. I've got some big dreams ahead, and I haven't been doing too much YouTube lately. I've been putting a lot of effort in eBay. Ooh. And doing really well with that. So that's where I've been lately.
Very cool. So yeah. eBay is your working from home then?
No, actually, eBay is my side hustle, but my professional job, I work in the digital media and I'm working from home. And I'm here in Los Angeles. And I got to say, I think it's for the better, at least for myself. I'm enjoying it because from a management standpoint, I have a boss that's a challenge sometimes. And it's just like, I feel like I don't get the freedom to do my job as I do the job. It just, instead of being hounded, is it done? Is it done? It's like, if you give me some space, I can do the job. So I'm appreciating that management is far away and I can work at my own pace.
I get
and
that.
get it done.
I can feel that. I can feel that. Is that something that your management has now recognized, and you're getting more work done because they're off your back? Are they seeing that? Are they saying, "Well done, Edie, I didn't think you could get that done in that time, but you've done it nicely done"? Or are they
Actually, I'm noticing a shift because I think right now we've been doing this for 3 weeks now, and it has been a hurdle. I mean, when the Los Angeles mayor on like it was a Thursday night when we were still at work, had said that by midnight we were going to shelter in place. It was a massive scramble to everybody grab your computers and take them home.
Yes.
We'll figure it out when you get there. So it was pretty funny because I work in a very large building and we're on the 17th floor. So there were others, we share. There's a lot of other office workers. So you see everybody in the elevators with their computers, loading up their cars with crap. It was really wild, wheeling stuff out like heavy computers on office chairs because that was what was available.
Classy.
It was crazy.
Did you get a Kate Blanche to take whatever you needed from the office? Whatever you need to do, Mindy, take from here and put it up in your own.
Yeah, and we were basically taking photos of, the barcodes so that way IT could like keep track of everything that was going out the office. So,
Right.
They were really smart about that too.
Would you?
And then I had to take extra computers for another employee and drop it off because she's a neighbor of mine and give her computer. So yeah, it was pretty kooky the first weekend of just getting it up, and our IT guys had to work around the clock. It was really tough.
Yes.
For them. Yeah.
Okay, you've raised a couple of cool points there. The IT issue, how hard it was for them, and how much they worked to get it going. Do you think that now that it is running and it's in place, do you think if your government, if your mayor says go back to your offices, do you think your IT team and the management will say, okay, strip everything back and bring it all back to the office and we'll go back to the old way? Or will they say, you know what, 4 days out of 5 or 3 out of 5, whatever it is, stay working from home. We've got this in place now. It works really well. And then only come in when you need to. Do you think that'll remain that way?
I wonder. I'm kind of hoping that maybe it will show that we can work from home, but it's hard to tell because the business that I work in, it's in digital media. And so we're like the laboratory that works with studios and all the streaming platforms. So we do, what I do is I actually work in what they call production technology, where I actually, when we get new clients, I'm the one that sets up the workflow of how it's going to go, how it starts, how we get the assets in, how they're going to be transcoded, and how they're going to be delivered to wherever they're going in the world.
Right.
And a big part of it, because it's Hollywood, it's also the look of things, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Because when we have new clients coming in, they like to show how there's an image, the Hollywood image of this is, how things are. And, there's also Motion Picture Association, their regulations regarding security. And so and some of that is actually kind of archaic, in my opinion.
Okay.
But you know what I mean? I'm wondering, I'm hoping that they'll see that it changes, because some studios are more stringent than others because they're still archaic, if you know what I mean. So they still like the idea of an office building handling their things, and they feel like that's secure. But but I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, this could probably demonstrate that, no, this is kind of like a new way of working. And I appreciate it because quite frankly, I mean, we have a lovely view of Hollywood where our location is. I mean, I can see the Hollywood sign and it's really pretty and it looks impressive to our clients. And it actually is nice. And I do enjoy my fellow coworkers, but what I really hated is the open office plan. It drives me insane. It's hard to focus, and we weren't 6 feet apart. We're close to each other. So that's the other factor also, because I think after this, I think things might change as far as how close you want to interact with people.
So you were in an open office, but you weren't further apart from your colleagues. You were all crammed in the one little space, and then there was just open plan with space?
No, it's like a whole floor that's open plan. I mean, it's not even cubicles. It's like long desks of computers, and we sit next to each other.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And and it's like, and it is in my department because we're small, and there's only like 6 of us, and we work on developing workflows and everything. Everybody gets assigned a project. So a lot of times there's a lot of collaboration in that regard as far as to troubleshoot when things go wrong. Sometimes it can be very stressful. But I'm on the phone because we're all friends in this too. So I can hop on the phone and say, hey, how would you do this? Or, or I can do a G chat and stuff like that. So, it's so far for me, it's working great. And I really do hope my company kind of thinks, kind of weighs in on that, because there are a couple of our tech people that are working away from home that have, branched out. So I'm hoping maybe they'll open it up. Maybe half of us could do that.
Sure.
We'll see.
Do you think, would it be safe to say, or would it be fair to say that if Corona-19 or COVID-19 didn't occur, would this have happened? Would your boss have had said, okay, some of you crew are going to move out of the office and go home?
Nope. Would not have happened.
Okay.
In fact, I feel it's a management kind of thing. I think if the mayor didn't do it, it wouldn't have been done. They were just kind of wait and see, which I really didn't like that. You know what I mean? Sometimes the dollar is held higher than,
yes, of
than
course.
People.
The thing that I'm seeing here, you said your department is about 6 people, but in total, your firm that you work for, how many employees?
We're a small firm actually, so it's just like 300 people.
Oh shit. Okay, so that's, I wouldn't say that's a small firm. I'd say that's quite a sizable firm.
But we're not all, it's around the clock. I mean, we're in, and there's another, the way we can be 24 hours is that we also have half of us that are in India.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
So we can all keep office hours, so it's fair for everybody. So we don't have to work graveyard shifts. We actually have another, our Indian staff that takes care of the overnight hours.
Gotcha. Let me ask you this then. How many crew work from that downtown LA location that you used to go to?
Let's see. Because I'm there, I was working regular business hours from 9 to 6. I would say it was probably about 60 of us. And then there's people that are, at night or on the weekends and part-time and that kind of thing. So probably, then that would make up for the other half.
So this is where I want to sort of dig in deeper here, because if you're looking from a management perspective of the business, there's overheads such as rental on that building, leases that take place to secure the building, car parking spaces that need to be paid for, etc., etc., etc. Now, if you have 60 people going there on a normal day, but now because of COVID-19, I don't know if this is the correct number, but let's just say 50 of those people now no longer need to go to the office. Only 10 of them do, for whatever the reason, certain roles that need going into the physical building. So the management is going to say, well, we all of a sudden don't need to lease as much building space as we did before. So we can actually reduce our office size down to a smaller portion. We don't need that big open plain area. We can just get rid of a whole bunch of those desks and a whole bunch of those separate office buildings, whatever they are. We can get rid of some of the off-street parking that we're paying for. At that point, the business is saying, okay, so we don't need a huge space. And that's exactly what I was saying earlier in the stream. I'm just speculating. I'm not saying that's going to happen.
I know. I completely agree with you, because actually I think that is definitely something for the company to consider, because Los Angeles, I mean, the rent is not cheap, and we are in a pretty lavish part of town, like totally. I said, because it's image. And parking is a major issue, because there's in the building that we work in, there's actually not enough parking for the entire staff. They actually have to rent parking from another office building where we would park.
Right, there you go.
And also, our company has grown a lot. That they actually took another floor to add to actually move the sales staff off of our floor and put them onto another floor.
Huh.
So, you know what I mean? So that you bring up an excellent point. It would definitely help their bottom line.
And now, are those sales staff that are on another floor that they're renting from another corporation, are they working from home now as well?
Yeah, they were actually working from home before. That was management's way of saying we did take action. Yeah, but the rest of us techs are still sitting next to each other. What are you talking about? You know. So like sales would like go like about a week before we were.
Right. It sounds like and I'm not trying to smoke your boss or praise your management team, but it sounds like they've made a pretty good change, and it hasn't really. It sounds like it's working for you guys. It sounds like
yes, it is.
I'm just wondering long term how this will actually flow on, because if they do cut back on space and they do cut back on this car spots and stuff, do they then go back and start paying all that money when they can see? And that's the thing, the bosses will be looking at the charts and whatnot, and they'll be saying, well, we didn't really drop any business here during COVID-19. In fact, we maintained our charts and we maintained our sales and everything was fine. And it cost us less to do that because everyone was at home. So you guys are going to stay working from home. Congrats. We'll see you once every fortnight when you come in to just touch base. That I feel like we're on a good thing here in a weird way.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I totally agree with you.
Yeah, cool. Oh, I mean, it's really nice to hear your beautiful voice again. And as I wasn't really reading the chat, because when I'm talking with someone, I like to have the conversation just completely with the person. But the chat, who was it? Yeah, Sophia Rose. Shyla Rose said, it's nice to hear your voice too. You got a beautiful singing voice, which you do.
Thank you.
There you go.
That's really nice.
Lots of love in the chat for Edie. We've missed you up here on the Gives a Minute YouTube
missed you
streams.
guys. Oh, you guys are so awesome.
Let me go back and ask you a little about your side hustle, the eBay thing, and without giving away what you're doing, if you don't want to. I mean, if you want to, you can.
Oh, no.
But I'm just curious to see what your like. How did, first of all, you said you work 9 to 6, and you also said that's business hours. That's 1 hour additional. 9 to 5 is business hours. You're working an hour overtime every day. So when do you get time to do a side hustle, eBay? And obviously that's pushed your YouTube stuff further away, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's like I only have X amount of time. So, and I was also working extra hours at work too. So, any extra time that I had is going into my eBay. And it's kind of cool because lately my sales are up just from my own stuff, because right now I'm trying to downsize and a lot of my old electronics are like selling. I have like guitar pedals from the 80s that are total crap in my opinion, but they're like coveted for whatever reason.
Wow.
I have old 4-track recorders that I've sent some tube amps. I've sold, what else have I sold? I sold another digital 4-track recorder. It's just like stuff that was sitting in my closet that I didn't use, that is just like, it's so old Super 8 film. I found 3 sleeves of 5 cartridges. I sold that for $130. I couldn't believe it.
Super 8 film, really?
It's expired, but it was still in its package. But for whatever reason, people are willing to take a chance
That's
to see
amazing.
if it'll develop. Yeah.
So when you first said you were doing eBay, I got confused. I thought you were maybe doing a side business where you were importing product and then selling them on eBay. But you're actually going through your personal archive of things and putting it on eBay and making a profit.
Yes, and before that, before the COVID-19 hit, I was hitting garage sales and estate sales and buying things really cheap and selling them at a high price. That's what
cool.
I was doing.
Woz from Oz in the chat says, what pedals do you have? What pedals are you selling? Do you want to?
They're all gone.
They're all gone. They're all gone. They're all gone. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, look. So I want to promote your eBay if you want us to. Do you want to put it up there in the chat? You want to give me a link and I can promote it out there, or we can take a look at your eBay right now if you want.
Yeah, there's not much left up there. This is a lot of some of my bad buys now, but you're welcome to look. It's Edie Mandolin, EDIEMANDOLIN.
I guess I've got to do instrument. I guess I got to do it up here in the search bar. Oh, can you do it in the search bar like that? Edie Mandolin. No, this is going to search for a This is going to search for that as an item, not the channel, not the category percussion. See, I thought I could search for a channel name, not a channel.
So, I'm still learning it too because I started it in December, and so I haven't really set up a store yet. I just used my personal one that I, had like 15 years ago. Yeah.
What's an item you've got for sale right now that we can actually search for? Because that'll bring up your item, and then we can go further from there for those that want.
All right, let's take a look. Let me open up my eBay app here.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, this is interesting. This is I'm pumped that you called in, because this is exactly what I was trying to get at with my opening monologue, that we don't need the physical space, and the downtown LA area is different to the CBD in Sydney, whereas you guys live downtown. People live in downtown LA, whereas people don't live typically in the CBD areas in Sydney. And I think that we're going to see less and less business space and more accommodation. And therefore, people will be going to the cities to have, go to the city for a day out. You don't have to go there for business. You can just go to the city to see the city.
Exactly. And also because Los Angeles traffic is actually, everybody knows about it worldwide,
Yeah.
So and also it's actually helping the smog. We haven't had smog, and we're actually, I saw a news report that said LA has the healthiest air now.
Wow. I saw a great photo of the downtown LA from a distance, looking down the 101 with not a single car on it. Now, I've traveled that highway a bunch to get up to Thousand Oaks when we were over there with Tracer, and that 5 lanes either way, very, very seldom you see no cars on it, and there was not a single. Either there was a couple and they photoshopped them out, or there just was none. Very, very unique.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, so give us an item. What's an item?
Oh, so here's one. I have a vintage Grundig cassette player, Grundig.
Okay. Let's have a look at this. Vintage Grundig cassette player. From United Kingdom, from Netherlands, from United States. This one here, is it a C200?
It's a CP351.
CP351, okay. Okay, I'm not seeing it there. From Bulgaria, from Israel, United States. Okay, that's not that one. Interesting. CP351.
Okay, let me see if I could...
Here we go. $40?
Yes.
That's the one. This is it, folks. Let's open this up and have a look. Nicely done, nicely packaged. Oh, you've even got it in the original styrofoam there as well.
Yeah. That was from an estate sale.
Well, I got your channel here. What I'll do, folks, I'll open up this here. How do I do this? I go to items for sale, and what I'll do is, you got a few different items there. You got some shoes, some jeanses.
Yep.
I'm going to pop your link. There's in the chat right there, folks. There's the link to Edie's eBay store, and if you wanted to go over there and just give her some support, search through her items for sale. You might find something you enjoy there. There's a lot of shoes. There's a DVD recorder. There's a 7 Samurai black and white movies. There's a beanie. There's a bunch of shoes. Some nice dress shoes there. You got adult underwear diaper. What?
Yes, somebody told me to try that. I'm like, that's not working. So that was an experiment.
I mean, look, you might have you're homebound and you've got your partner there and you want to play dress ups. Maybe you need to get that, right? There you go. That's pretty unique. It's pretty cool. I mean, look, this is not something that you would have done specifically because of COVID-19. This is just something that you were doing, and now you probably found you've got more time to do it because you've bought everything. Like you said, you went into all these garage sales and what do you call them in the States? We call them
garage sales.
Oh, the same thing.
And then estate sale and estate
sale. Yeah. And you g'day Matthew in the chat. Sorry, chat. I haven't been engaging the chat. I'm apologizing for that. I will talk to the chat momentarily, but we've just had a call in here from. I'm gonna go with Shyla Rose again. I've got Shyla on my mind. Edie, it's nice to have you in, and I've missed your beautiful voice, so this is really nice to see you here.
Oh, thank you. And I'm sorry to take away from the chat too. I'll keep it going. That was really nice of you to put my eBay stuff out, but as you can see, all my good stuff's gone. So
it looks like I'm just perusing through there again. There's some great stuff in there if you're interested in this. Like, look at this little dictaphone here, a Sony BM520 voice recorder. Yeah, I mean, you've gone well. You've gone hardcore for it. Yeah, props and well done.
Oh, thank you.
But I'll tell you what we'll do here. We'll wrap the call up. Unless you've got any final comments. Actually, that's a good thing. Let's hear your final take on how has COVID-19 changed your life, and in particular your business life.
It has changed my business life for the better, and I actually now enjoy my job more because I get to work from home at a pace that I can enjoy the work. Before, it took out all the fun.
Did you hear that, folks? Edie said she enjoys her job more because she can work from home. That's got to be a good thing, right? You get better business, you get better things done if you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool, Edie. What you got to tell your bosses that, right? You got to send that message back to your boss.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
What about the negatives? What's the negative side to this?
The negative is missing the coworkers. I do miss that camaraderie that I had among my in my department, as far as problem solving goes, and kind of joking around,
right.
That kind of fun part of when you have coworkers.
Okay. What about health-wise? So anybody in your firm of what you said, 300 people in total, including India, anybody down with the C? Anyone down with the corona?
Actually, in our office, there was one person who had an office. They didn't say who it was, but it wasn't him or her. It was a spouse. So, and apparently that person did not get it. But that was the closest that we had. And there was somebody in the building that we are in on a different floor. But that's as far as I know.
Now that's very interesting, because if there was someone in the building or someone's spouse, there's two very separate ways for that thing to spread. Because if you're working from home and your spouse has it, then in effect, if you're still working at the office and your spouse has it, then in effect you're bringing it from home to the office. But on the flip side of that, if you're working at the office and someone else in the office has it, you're bringing it home. So, wow, I mean, either way you look at it, we had to isolate people, right? And
absolutely.
Yeah, and it's not just America, obviously, it's global. It's like, it's taken a while to filter through. We've been talking about this on the D Live since January, when Was from Oz up there in the chit chat. He first brought this to our attention because he has business colleagues in China, right? So when this kind of kicked off, it all started from China, but it's taken a while to filter through. What we're seeing now is everybody is locking down for the safety and health of everybody else. How about this, Edie? It's the weirdest time on this planet when everybody is aligned. We're all the same right now.
Yeah.
That hasn't happened.
The other thing that I like too, that it's bringing to light, particularly in our culture, is this calling in sick. Like, that it was always, that would be frowned upon. You'd have to come. It's just that stigma.
Okay,
now everybody's more on board with, like, if you're sick, stay at home, do what it takes to take care of yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I want to raise a quick point on that. When I was contracted, so I had a contract job for the library, the State Library of New South Wales, as a photographer to come in and digitize their collection. Me and 3 other dudes were doing that role. As contract workers, we didn't get sick pay, we didn't get annual leave, we didn't get day off, we didn't get overtime. We just got an hourly rate for the hours that we clocked in and clocked out. And so at that point in my life, it was about a 3-year period, I would go in there no matter how ill I was. If I was sick, because if I didn't, I wouldn't get paid, and I had bills to pay. And my argument to my boss when they would say, "Benon, you're ill, what are you doing here? You're going to get us all sick." I'll be like, "Yeah, but you don't give us sick pay." So that person next to me, they're a full-time employee, and if they get sick, they take 2-3 days off and they get paid for it, and they don't get sick, they get better. Me, are you saying my health isn't worthy because I'm a contract worker? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, I think there's going to be looking at these employment contracts and about how employees are handled. That's another topic. But at this point, Edie, I think that this has been a really, really cool call-in. Possibly one of the most. You've got a great scenario, You're in the middle of this, and you're providing exactly what I was saying at the start of the stream. So thank you so much again for calling in.
Thanks for having me, Bennett. It was a pleasure talking to you.
You're very, very welcome. And hopefully we see you in the chat more often now on the streams.
Yes, that's what I'm hoping.
If I can get a little bit sneaky there and try to keep you here. Edie, we'll say goodbye right now though, and the chat, and you jump back in the chat, and I'll go through and reread the chat that I've missed. But thank you so much for calling in.
Thanks, Bennett. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Folks, wasn't that so sweet? What a cool, like that voice in my ears was just so beautiful. You should see what she does too. She records music and she performs. Oh, I forgot to ask her about a YouTube channel. YouTube, she said it's kind of like tailoring off a little bit, but go ahead and actually, Edie, if you want to pump your YouTube channel as well, feel free to pop it in the chat. I don't know if I've allowed. No, I haven't denied links in the chat, but. Now let me just go back up and reread the chat because I did miss a bunch, and that's the point of a call-in where I can dedicate the time to the call-in. But let me just see if we've got anything missing here. Okay, so there we go. Back up to where Mindy said she sounds beautiful. She's got a really, really sweet voice. Happy Canadian. Whoa, hello, loud and clear. So that's all talking about. Waz says try Dark Reader for Chrome to get this as a reverse, but I don't use Chrome when I'm streaming. Chrome is a resource hog, unfortunately. I don't use it. Happy Canadian says you are missed on YouTube. That's to Edie Murphy. Olivia says I'll work up the guts to call in. Maybe interesting. You don't need guts. Just need a microphone and a pair of headphones. The IT crew at my company have been absolutely amazing, Chad. To say, I wanted to talk more about that. It's always the case when you finish a call, you're like, I could have asked Edie about that. I wanted to ask her, did she need any IT crew to come to her house? Or was the infrastructure, the internet, was that suitable for what she needed? I've completely forgot about that. She sounds so happy. That's the nicest thing to hear. Yes, true. She's a beautiful voice. She sings beautifully and she plays the violin amazingly, right? And mandolin. I need a closed room and an ashtray. Edie is a very talented musician. Rental space in LA is expensive. Olivia, I hit the link, then I had an echo. Oh, so so the trouble is, if you hit that link and you got the stream playing, yeah, you're gonna have an echo. You have to kill the stream, and you have to hit that link separate. So for the time that you're calling in, you can't be watching the stream. You just got to have me in your Kansas. Otherwise, it just gets an almighty reverb echo. Feedback echo. Hendrik up in the chit chat. G'day, I'm late. No worries, Hendrik. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. We'll see you later on the D Live. Up and Hendrik. And Woz wanted to know what pedals. There you go. I've been thinking about selling houseplants on Facebook Marketplace. Interesting. And there's Edie's eBay store if you want to go and check that out. Matthew Chikinski. I said g'day quickly, man, but good to see you, dude. Good to have you. How's it going? Speaking of COVID, I picked up a Spiderbait t-shirt to help support them. I did see that they changed their graphic there from the unfinished Spanish galleon of Finley Lake with the toilet rolls. I saw that. Matthew says you can almost see the stars in California. Wow. There's no stars in California, is there? Either way, folks, this has been a wonderful stream. I was using my earbuds. You were using earbuds. That's Edie talking. Wire iPhone earbuds. Yeah, this has been a wonderful stream. I think there's a lot to be discussed regarding COVID-19. I think we're at a very, very strange point in our lives. I think we're very lucky in a weird way. We're very lucky to be here in a strange sense, right? And I'm not trying to devalue how gnarly COVID-19 is, and people are dying. It's infecting a lot of people. But we do have some positive coming from this. We've seen the positive on the live streaming format. More people coming to live streaming. Every band doing a live feed on Facebook. That's got to be good for those that are already live streamers. That's got to be good for audiences. You're going to get a better stream quality. You're going to get better infrastructure, better internet. We're seeing benefits for businesses. We're seeing people stay home. We're seeing people hanging out with their families more. I mean, this could be the almighty leveler, right? The almighty leveler in many, many different senses. Now, folks, I can hear my outro music rolling right now. I will see you all on DLive or here next week for another stream. 1 year on DLive coming up on Tuesday. Yeah, can't wait. Thanks, folks. Cheers.
Oh, that's we're out of time.